Hello guys, Robert1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, I have for you a Spright deck profile on the first week of release because I wanted to make sure to get this out before locals, before tournaments, to give you guys some ideas to make your Spright decks. And honestly guys, I'm so happy to have this deck after opening a whole case, almost getting the entire core, and then having to go to locals, sneak peek to trade for the next few things that I was missing. I'm so happy to be able to have all of this, one of the best decks in the format, comparatively with tier, and going into a whole new format where this and tier just shift the format entirely. I am so happy to be able to bring you this deck, which is one of the best decks going forward now. So guys, I do hope you enjoy. I hope you like how I was able to get this whole deck together before locals, and I hope you do enjoy the video overall to give you guys some ideas for your own Spright decks and give you guys basically choices and card decks that maybe you want to play in it as well. So I hope you do enjoy, I hope you do understand the cards that we're going to be talking about here, and we're going to do a bit of explaining as we go along as well. So let's go ahead, get into it, and show you guys my Spright deck profile. So just to give you guys all a heads up, Spright are all monsters that say if you control level 2, you can special summon them. So we are playing quite a few Spright monsters in the deck because obviously it's Spright and we do play a lot of level 2s to go into it. So let's go ahead and get into them. So starting off, we play free Spright Blue, where if you special summon it, you get to go ahead and add any Spright monster from your deck to your hand. You play 3 of him, he's a mandatory 3 of because he's basically a combo starter, where if you have him and a level 2, you can basically get all the Sprights out of your deck and have a negate along with an extra level 2 to go into like Gigantic Flight, and have all of these options to go ahead and tribute for your orange and your carrot, and just have a lot of more resources there. He's basically a free search, the Stratos if you will, but he doesn't search on normal summon. Next we play free Spright Jet. He's very similar to Blue, where instead of searching monsters, you search spells and traps. So with him you can go ahead and get started to get you another Spright from deck, or you can get Smasher to go ahead and get you a free removal. We also play 2 red and 1 carrot. Reasoning behind this is I feel like red is just a lot better than carrot in the fact of what they do is red and carrot contribute a monster, level 2, link 2, or rank 2 to go ahead and negate either a spell or trap in carrot's case, or a monster effect in red's case. And if they tribute an X-Deck monster, then they get to destroy the card. Now in my personal opinion, I think red is a lot better than carrot. That's why we're playing 2 of it. I feel like having the more reds is just overall better for the fact that, oh yeah, we can go ahead and tribute this random monster to go ahead and negate something. And the good thing about playing 2 reds is that if we do get Dark Ruled and we have red and we don't have carrot, then we can go ahead and use a set star because it's a quick play spell to special summon one of them from the deck if we do get Dark Ruled and Moored, which I feel like is going to be a very strong staple going forward. So I feel like playing 2 red and 1 carrot is correct. We're not really going to summon the carrot on turn 1 most of the time. We're always going to summon the red because monster effects are more prevalent. So we go ahead and play 2 and 1 just so we have the options of both. Those are all the Sprights though. That's the mandatory lineup, I would say. Like 3, 3, 2, 1 I think is the best, especially seeing as we've got our basic starters here, where if we have a level 2 we can special summon them, get what we need there, and then we've also got our negates in the form of red and carrot, which don't really do much if on turn 1, so we would rather search them from the deck. Going into other monsters though, we play a Frog Engine obviously, because in Spright we play Totally Awesome, so we play 3 Swap Frog along with a Dupe Frog and a Ronin. I feel like this is personally just the best ratio to play of the frogs. 1 dupe, 1 Ronin I think is perfect. Sure, this can go ahead and get DD Crowed, but hey, they have to have the DD Crow and there's ways to play around it as well, so I feel like this is just the best card to have at 1. And then we obviously play 3 Swap Frog because it's the best starter, where if you normal summon it and have a Spright, that's pretty much just full frog combo. You can go ahead and set up the Swap Frog engraved with the Ronin to go ahead and make the Toad and everything, so you want to be able to do that. And then we play 1 Dupe Frog just as an additional frog target to banish off Ronin, and also because we can summon it during our opponent's turn in the standby phase with Toad to go ahead and then prevent our opponent from attacking any of our very weak Spright monsters, because all the Spright monsters have very low attack. So Dupe Frog just taking all the damage in defense mode with 2k defense is really, really strong. So this is the frog ratio we're playing. Next we are playing for our extra level 2s that we mainly want to normal summon. We are playing 3 Dark Beckoning Beast and 1 Openings of the Spirit Gate. Now this is a very interesting package that a mate of mine told me about, and honestly I wasn't too sure about it at first. I was playing the Trickstars originally, the Live Twins originally, and in all honesty I think this is just better. I came to the conclusion for this for a couple of reasons. 1, Dark Beckoning Beast doesn't special summon at all. What it does is, on normal summon, you can go ahead and add a card that lists Raya, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, or Ravael, Lord of Phantasms, which will be the Spirit Gates, and then you can go ahead and just activate the Spirit Gates to go ahead and search another Dark Beckoning Beast, because what this does on activation adds a card that lists them as well. So you go ahead and normal summon this, add this, activate it, add another Dark Beckoning Beast, and then the second Dark Beckoning Beast gives you the ability to gain an additional normal summon for the second Beckoning Beast. So honestly, I think this engine is just a lot better because it gives you 2 level 2s very easily. But on the plus side, opening has an additional effect where you can go ahead and discard a card to just go ahead and special summon these from the graveyard. So not only does this engine give you access into multiple level 2s, but it also gives you access into a monster reborn in the form of Gate, where you can go ahead and revive a level 2 beast, and also with the Frog engine, a Ronin totem at times, to have just 2 materials to go ahead and make a rank 2 monster like your Spright, or maybe something else along those lines. So I feel like this is the better engine just to run in the deck. I've been really liking it, and it's just works really, really well just because it's a normal summon. It can play around stuff like Winder as well if you're going second, and it's just really, really nice to have this engine, and I'm really liking it in the deck. Like, honestly, I don't know why I played the Live Twins before playing this, because it's just such a strong engine in my personal opinion. Going on to hand traps though, we are playing a decent lineup. We're playing about 10 hand traps. So starting off, we play 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, obviously the best hand trap in the format. This is just really strong for cards like Branded Opening. If you're against Tilament Branded, you can go ahead and use it on Rhinoheart, the field spell. It's just a very strong card throughout all decks, and it's good against Sprites as well, because if you use this on the Gigantisplay, they don't lock you out, and they also don't get to go ahead and special summon 1 from the deck. So very strong card, very good card overall. We play 2 Effect Veiler because I feel like Effect Veiler is just really, really nice. I prefer playing 2 of this card over 3 of it, for the fact of the matter is I'm playing 10 hand traps and we are playing something else. So I do like this at 2, and I feel like it's just a pretty decent option to play. We also play 2 DD Crow because DD Crow is very strong this format, for the fact you can go ahead and hit Ronin Totem to go ahead and banish it. You can go ahead and hit a Tearlament card to go ahead and banish that to prevent a fusion summon. Like, DD Crow is just really, really strong and can be very good against different archetypes. And also if you're up against Mathmech, you can go ahead and banish one of the monsters, preferably the one that gives the Xyz monster a negate, and then just prevent them from summoning that Trishula Xyz monster. So this is also really nice against that as well. And then finally we play 3 Ash Blossom for the last hand traps as well, because I feel like 5 Effect Veilers is better than 2, and Imperm is just better for a lot of different reasons, such as it can't be called by the graves, they have to have Crossout designated to stop it, and also it's just a very nice card and decent card in overall opinion. So we play 3 of that. So those are the 10 hand traps. I personally think this is the best ratio. I was testing like Cypherane Gamma and stuff along those lines, but I just didn't like it. As a lot of you know, I don't like Gamma, but every time I played it, it felt like, oh, there wasn't enough starting cards to justify the Gamma, where if we activate Starter, it's the only time where, oh, they could Ash the Starter, and I felt like it wasn't worth it in comparison to like all the other times. So I chose to not play it and play like more hand traps overall, instead of playing like the E-Tellies and also the Brick Vets Driver. So yeah, that's just the hand trap ratio I chose. I think it's really good. I like it. I think it's the best ratio in my opinion. Going on to spells overall though, we are playing 3 Spright Starter. And what this card does is you can special summon 1 Spright monster from your deck and get locked into level 2, rank 2, and link 2 monsters for the rest of the turn. But you special summon the Spright and also take some damage along with it, equal to its attack. So the card is very nice. It's just it locks you, which is kind of upsetting, but it's a very good card just for the fact that it's basically E-Telly for the deck, and it's a quick play spell as well, which is really, really cool. We also play 3 Dark Ruler No More. This is just, honestly, I think better than Droplets in this deck. But the fact of the matter is, you activate Dark Ruler No More, you just look at your opponent's board and be like, yeah, you have all of these negates, but I'm just gonna break your entire board and then, you know, win the game, for instance, because you could just go ahead and make like a Zeus, for instance, after going ahead and Dark Ruling if you go second, and just stop your opponent from playing the game entirely. So I really like this card. I think it's just stronger than Droplets overall, especially against Spright, just for the fact that Droplets, you lose a lot of cards and you don't get to trigger any of your Tearlaments, and you don't get to trigger any of your Spright cards. So I feel like this in this deck is just a lot better. Droplets we would still play in PK though. But yeah, 3 Dark Ruler No More. Next, we play 3 Crossout Designator. I think this is a mandatory in every version of this deck. Like, the fact of the matter is, if you're playing this card, you have ways to stop so many different things. In the mirror match, you can stop all of their Spright cards, but most importantly, in any matchup, if your opponent Dark Ruler no Mores you, you can cross out Designator, because Dark Ruler no More only says your opponent can't chain monster effects in response to the activation of this card. So you just trigger Crossout Designator, cool Dark Ruler no More, and prevent the negation, so then you're still free to use all of your cards. So I feel like this is a mandatory in the deck. I don't think this card should not be in the deck, and I'm really happy with this card. Like, honestly, the fact of the matter is, it can prevent hand traps, it can prevent Dark Ruler no More, it's good in the mirror match, and it's just a very, very strong card overall, this format, and I think is just mandatory in Spright overall. And then just for one of spells, we play one Smasher. What this basically does is you can banish one Spriggans, Furions, or Spright card to activate one of the effects. The effect that you're going to mainly use, you banish one level, rank, or link 2 monster to go ahead and banish one card your opponent controls. So this is basically just removal for anything your opponent has. You can remove the window, you can remove a lot of different stuff as well, but it's just mainly removal in general, which is really, really nice. And especially is good because it banishes, which is very strong, and yes, you lose a rank, link, or Xyz monster too, but in the grand scheme of things, if you're getting rid of something that important, it's necessary to play. One Called by the Grave, this is just more hand trap prevention, such as Crossout Designator. Card's very strong, card's very good. I don't think this deck should not play it as well. And then finally, the last card, one Harpy's Feather Duster. This is kind of just here for those random decks. Like, I had this deck up 39 cards, and I was like, what's a really strong card this format that can out a lot of different things? And I just thought, you know what? Harpy's Feather Duster. The card is great. It can stop Mystic Mine. It can just be very strong against like back row based decks. And if we go up against like any back row based deck and we draw Duster going second, we just like, cool, Harpy's Feather Duster, wipe your back row, go for game. So yeah, the card I don't know is mandatory or not, but it was just that I was on 39 and I was like, do I want to play another Smasher or do I want to play with Harpy's Feather Duster? And at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion of Harpy's Feather Duster just because I like the idea of not getting Mystic Mine and just losing, and also like the idea of just destroying all of the back row that we look at. So yeah, it's a very good card, it's a very nice card, and I'm very happy to have it in the deck right now. It may change in the future, but I think it's just a very strong card, and just the fact that Mystic Mine is just going to be really, really strong, Duster is just there to prevent that. But yeah, those are all the spells. That's the main deck. Honestly, I am very happy with the main deck. Like, I really like everything I kind of put together here. I like the play of the deck, I like the play style of the deck, and I like how the deck has a lot of combos and a lot of ways to start your plays. So I do enjoy this deck overall. But now let's go ahead and go on to the extra deck so you guys can see what we're playing there. So starting off, we are playing 2 Elf. So Elf, basically what this card does is, the turn it's Link Summon, it cannot be used as Link Material. But what it does is, as a quick effect during either player's main phase, you can go ahead and target one level 2 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. If your opponent controls a monster though, you can special summon a rank 2 or link 2 from your graveyard as well. So this gives you a lot of utility to go ahead and use Toad multiple times in one turn, gives you the ability to just Monster Reborn your swap rogue to go ahead and send it to graveyard to help you make Toad. And also an additional bonus to this card is anything it points to can't be targeted. So your opponent can't target a Toad, your opponent can't target the additional Link monster you possibly make, your opponent can't do a lot to this card. So the card is very strong and very nice, and definitely just an insane card overall, just for the fact that it just is a Monster Reborn basically that prevents targeting. And the best part about it is, you don't have to use multiple level 2 monsters, so you can go ahead and just use, I don't know, a random monster and a level 2 to make this. So if you don't have like anything extra, you can just go ahead and make this and just have a happy day with that. So yeah, it comes up sometimes, I will be honest, it has come up in testing, but it's just really nice that it doesn't just need 2 level 2 monsters. Trust me, it's just very nice about that. Link 2s we're playing one IP Mask Arena, just to go ahead and have Link access during your opponent's turn, especially seeing as this can't be used as Link material on the turn it's summoned. One Dark for more Link access, revive something from the opponent's graveyard, go ahead and trigger the effect if you're in the mirror match against Spright. Summon this, still they're blue, and then just go off. One Nightmare Unicorn for the IP Mask Arena, along with one Appaloosa for the IP Mask Arena. I chose these 2 targets overall just because I felt like, okay, we're in the mirror match against Spright, we make Unicorn, get rid of their level 2, or if we go up against something like Tearlament, we go ahead and summon Appaloosa, just go ahead and negate their fusion effects. So I kind of like these. I don't know if I'll continue playing Appaloosa after this, it's just right now in the testing phase, and I do like it, don't get me wrong, but I might change it for Avramax just because I like the idea of summoning Dude Frog, and then just looking at your opponent and being like, yeah, you can't attack me because Crusadia Abramax says you can only attack it, and Duke Frog says you have to attack it. So yeah, it's just a nice soft block, which is kind of cool at times. But this is just what I'm playing right now. I think the negate factor is really good on Appaloosa, which is why I'm playing it at the current moment. And then the last thing once we're playing is one access code talker, just to go ahead and have the ability to destroy things, because we play a lot of different attributes. Like, we play fire, we play wind, we play dark. Like, that's three different pops right there, which is really nice and can just go for big damage in the game. So play those, very nice in general. Going on to Xyz monsters though, we play 2 Gigantic Spright. This basically is an insane card where it takes 2 level 2s to make. You can go ahead and use its effect, which says you can go ahead and special summon 1 level 2 monster from your deck, which is just great. Both players are locked into only special summoning Link, Xyz, and level 2 monsters for the rest of the turn, so you can't be Nibiru'd, and you just detach a material after all of that of any Xyz monster, not even itself. So the card is very unique in that sense, where you can go ahead and just detach a material from anything to go ahead and special summon a level 2 from the deck and also lock your opponent out of Cypher Gammering you, Nibiruing you, like just locking your opponent out from doing anything to you, which I think is just great and really strong. And it also has an additional bonus where you can go ahead and use Link monsters to go ahead and summon it as well, such as Elf. So if you make this with Elf, it also gets double its original attack. So this card can be a very big boy. This card is the entire starter of the deck, where if you go 2 level 2s, you special summon Swap Frog from the deck and go ahead into the Toad combo, and then you just go ahead and play the game from there, which is really nice. Like, honestly, very important card, definitely a 2 of, I would say. I wouldn't play 3 just because the X deck is just so tight, as is same reason for the Elf, but card is a mandatory 2 of. Next, we are playing 1 Soul Sweeper. Now, this is an interesting rank 2 monster. The reason why you play this is because you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card and target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it until the end of the turn. Now, this card, or until your opponent's end phase. This card is very interesting for the fact that you can just go ahead and summon 2 Beckoning Beasts, summon this card, and banish their Winder. This isn't out to Winder, it's the reason we play it, and I really like it for that fact. It's just a really strong card, a really nice card, and also has an interesting effect as well, where if it's destroyed by your opponent's card, you can go ahead and shuffle away banished cards into the deck. So you can go ahead and put away Ronin Toading that your opponent might have banished, so you can go ahead and shuffle away your banished monsters, such as Ronin Toading. You can go ahead and shuffle away the opponent's Winder, stopping it from coming back at the opponent's end phase. Like, this card has a lot of interesting ideas in it. I really do like the idea behind it, and I'm playing out 1 because of that. So yeah, just a really nice Winder out, just a nice way to get your monsters back, and is also nice because you get to go ahead and just recycle your Swap Frogs and your Toads and all of that, which is just good. Like, I think the ability to recycle is always nice, so play 1 of that. 1 Sky Cavalry for Zeus reasons, like you have to play this at 1 just so you can go ahead and make Zeus. Like, the card is also really nice just because it can attack a monster, detach a material, and return that monster to hand as well, and can't be destroyed by battle, so it's got nice pluses such as that. We play 2 Totally Awesome because you can make 2, and I think it's mandatory at 2, and I really do like it at 2. So pretty much, this card is insane. It's an Omni Negate that steals your opponent's cards, which is just amazing, and during the standby phase can summon 1 Frog monster from your deck. So you go ahead and detach a material during the standby phase, special summon the Duke Frog, and your opponent can only attack the Duke Frog now. So pretty much, Omni Negate that you use twice with Elf, and also summons a Duke Frog to prevent your opponent from attacking the game. I think that's pretty strong. And then 1 Downer Magician along with the Zeus, just to go ahead and have 4 material Zeus to wipe your opponent's entire board. Cards are strong, cards are great, and you're definitely going to be playing them in an Xyz based deck. So yeah, but guys, that is the deck profile. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you got some ideas from it, because honestly, I'm so happy to have this deck. I'm ready for this deck to be great, and I'm definitely going to be playing it in future events as well. Like, I'm probably taking it to the YOS that's coming up soon, which is going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, like, I'm ready for that event. I don't know if this is the exact build that I'll play. There could be some changes before then. I could choose to play Tailorment instead. Deck profile coming soon for that as well. And yeah, but guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this Spright deck profile. And guys, come on, you need a can of Spright when you do a Spright deck profile, right? So, we summon Sprites. Later all.